Hi friends, Claire Daly, Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. Today I want to show you some projects with one of the brand new online exclusives that Stampin' Up are releasing to customers in November. And the product we're playing with is the Cake Celebrations bundle, which is this one here. So it's a photopolymer stamp set and a set of dies. So in a moment, I'm going to flip over and I will show you the products as well as go through a couple of different ways of using them in your card making. So I hope this is helpful for you. If you're enjoying my videos, I would really love if you could subscribe to my channel. And also if you can press that bell, that means you'll be notified when I put out a new video. So I'd love for you to be a part of my community. Thanks very much, and let's get stuck into the card making. So let's have a look at the products first. The Cake Celebration stamp set comes with a coordinating die set. So you can buy them separately. You can buy just the stamp set if you like, or you can buy them together as a bundle and get 10% off both of them. You can buy the dies separately as well. But I wanted to buy them both together, so I got the discount. So it's a photopolymer stamp set. Now the reason that I love this stamp set is that I love the idea of lots of different things we can use with the cake, how we can, just different ways we can put the cake together for different situations, like this nice little cream here on top as well. I like the little extra bits that you can stamp and cut out and use as decorations, but I really like the sentiments and the versatility. So it can be celebrate just for any occasion. It can be happy birthday. It could be happy wedding anniversary, happy wedding day. So, you know, there's some really good opportunities to use this in lots of different situations. So let's have a look at the dies. Now, this is something that I do myself. The dies don't come with that on there, but with my eyesight, as we age, I find it easier to find my dies if I've got that nice big printing on them. I just do that with a Dymo. So these are the dies that you get with the bundle. So you get that nice stand there, and you get the different layers to put in between the cakes, and you get this nice little banner at the top. You get the bits and pieces to cut out those little things here that I mentioned. So the ones to cut out these. And then you also get to cut out the candles, which is here. So you can stamp those on top, and then you get these cute little sparkles which you can put on top of the candles as well. And then these ones here, they're actually can be used on top of these sections to actually have like icing dripping down. I think that's really gorgeous as well. So lots of different ways to use the stamp set, and hopefully I will be able to show you some of those today. Hopefully you'll enjoy them. I will definitely be showing them to you, but hopefully you enjoy them. So let's get started. Okay, let's get stuck into our first card. So for this card, I'm using a bubble bath card base. So I'm going to cut that right down the center. And then I just want to cut another layer here too, which I'm going to cut 14.5 by 10.2. So we've got our base card, which I'm going to fold over and burnish with the bone folder. We might be using the smoky slate later. We'll see how we go. Now this one here is just slightly smaller on all sides. Now I could have just used the card front. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I want to use this cute crochet embossing folder. It's absolutely beautiful. So this one was in the catalogue, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that. There wasn't an online exclusive. I'm pretty sure that one's in the catalogue. Yes, it is. So it's on page 129. It's a 3D folder. 3D folder, and it's $17.50, and it's called Cute Crochet. So I am going to just emboss this bit in my embossing folder. Now, I have my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine set up behind me, so excuse me for not doing that on screen, but things flow much better if I do it this way. So hang on a tick. So what I can tell you is the sandwich that I used on my plates, because it's a 3D embossing folder, we have this specialty plate, and I just put the plate down in the folder with the cardstock, the hinge through first, and then this number 4 on top, and that's how you do your 3D embossing folders. Now I want to show you something else super cool, and for this I'm going to just need a little bit of easy paper. So when you want to get a little bit more definition of your embossing, the Stampin' Brayer, the silicone, now if you've used brayers before, our Stampin' Brayers before, you will know that they have been used for transferring rubber and lots of different techniques, and they were the rubber brayers. This silicone brayer works a little bit differently. I find it doesn't give you as good, if you're wanting to get like a solid effect or use some of those techniques, but what it is fantastic for is actually getting definition, increased definition on your embossing. So I'm using the same color ink pad here, and I am just making sure that you are going over and over and over so that you're continuing to ink up, because if you go back and forth you'll just get ink in one certain section, like so. And then going over the embossing. So if you have a look at that, you can see it's much more, the actual pattern is much more defined. So that's one really good way to use your Stampin' Brayer. So I'm now going to just attach that to the front of my card. So we will use some Stampin' Seal. You could use glue, whichever suits you. And to wash this, you just rinse it underneath the tap, because water-based ink, it'll come straight off. So there we go. There's our embossing on our front of our card. So that's going to be the base of my card. And for this one, I want to just give you a really basic, I'll show you something else about the brayer while we're here. See these little bits here? That's actually a stand so that the silicone bit doesn't be on the ground, which is good, especially when you still need to clean it. Okay, so for this one we're going to be doing something just really quite basic. I want to show you a really basic, just using stamps and ink, about how you can make a nice cake. So what I have done is I have got these two pieces here, this one and this one. I've already lined them up on my block, like so. And I am going to, I've also got the base, this one here, which I've also got lined up on my block. So I'm going to use Smoky Slate for the base. I find if I line the cardstock up using the grid paper, that helps me get things lined up correctly. But I also need to look over the top. So if you see the top of my hair there, I'm sorry. Oops, did that a little bit crooked, but we can correct that when we, I might do that over this side. Want it a little bit further up, I remembered. Okay, so there's our base. And then the next bit we're going to do on this one is we're going to do the cake. Now I'm using the same colour. I'm using Bubble Bath for my cake. There we go. Don't know what that is, but that's okay. We can cover that with something. So there's our cake so far. And what I'm going to do is just add some flowers, and I'm just going to do that for this one. I'm going to do that just by stamping. So I'm going to use the smaller of the leaves, and I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, but I might even stamp it off, we'll see, because I want it to be quite light to blend in, tone in with the colours I'm using. So that's just the first generation stamping, and that is the second. So I think I'm going to stamp it off. Let's see if I can stamp it straighter than that though. Okay, so we'll do like so. And then stamping off down the bottom, and I want to cover that little bit that I popped in there. Okay, so that's there. Then the other I've got on here, I have got the two flowers. So I just used this one for the leaf, and now I'm going to use these two smaller flowers, and I'm going to pop those around. And I'm using Melon Mambo. I want a little bit brighter. I want the flowers to really stand out. So we'll do one at a time, just test. Okay. That one. Whoops. I think I'm going to be able to get away with that, because I think the die that I'm using, we should be able to cut that out. If not, there's going to be a greeting going there, a sentiment. There's always a way around things. Okay, so I think we might pop another flower, a small flower, down here for that one. Okay, so I just wanted a couple of flowers. I want this one to be super simple. And now I'm going to cut this out with the Radiating Stitches dies. So the Radiating Stitches dies are also an online exclusive, and they were released last year, and you get rectangle shapes with these really cute lines. This is the big one, and then you get this one down here, this one, then you get a couple of circles, and there's even this cute heart. So I'm just going to be using this small one to cut the cake out. Yep, that's going to fit fine. I want to do it so that the cake's sort of towards the bottom, so that I can put, the top, sorry, so that I can put my sentiment through there, but I need to make sure that I get all of the shape on. So I'm quite happy with that. Again, I'm going to pop that through the, through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. So here we go. So there's our cake. We managed to get that bit off the side. And you can see how you get that really nice effect around the outside. So I just want it to be like that, popped up, and I'm going to I'm going to pop the sentiment on. And I think this one I might just use Celebrate, because that'll fit really nicely down the bottom. So let's do that. And then I can show you how to use some of the longer ones later. So let's find the rest of the stamp set. Here we are. So we'll use Celebrate. Now when you first get your photopolymer stamps and you're first using them, it's really useful to give them a bit of a scrub on the Stampin' Scrub. So just let me grab that. The reason for that, if there's any residue left over from the manufacturing process, that gets rid of that. So I think it's a really good thing to do. So I just use Stampin' Mist on my Stampin' Scrub. We'll just pop it on. And the other thing that's I could have perhaps used, should have perhaps used, is when you're stamping with photopolymer stamps, it's a really good idea to have the foam pad underneath, because it gives you a better finish. So a better stamped image, should I say. So let's pop that in here. Might have to stand up and do this one. So I'm using Smoky Slate as my ink for the sentiment, and I'm just going to put this one here. Yep. The reason I'm doing that is because it will coordinate with the cake stand, which is what we want. There we go. Celebrate. So what I'm going to do now is pop that up on some, I'm going to pop that up using some dimensionals, and then I think I might use some of the rhinestone, clear rhinestone jewels. Where would they be? Well, maybe I could use actually some silver druses. I might use some silver druses. I've got those ones left over. Or I've got those ones, the clear rhinestones. I think I might go with the clear rhinestones. Okay, so we're going to pop that dimensionals in the center. Remember my tip, when you've got a rectangle or something, make sure you pop one in the second so you don't get a saggy middle. Lots of jokes about saggy middles going on in lives last week. We definitely don't want a saggy middle, do we? Okay, so I'm just going to pop this up here so make sure I get it relatively straight. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, pretty happy with that. And now I'm just going to put on my rhinestones. So we use our take a pick tool to make that a bit easier. I'm going to use the medium sized ones here. So I'm going to put, I think I might put one here. Maybe I might put one of the smaller ones here. And then I might put one of the medium ones up here. Yep, I think I'm happy with that. So there you go. That's a super simple one, just using the stamps. Didn't use the dies on that one, except we used one of the Radiating Stitches dies, and we used the Cute Crochet embossing folder. So I will make sure to link everything that I've used today for products down below in the video. So if you are in Australia, you can buy these products from me from anywhere in Australia and get sent straight to your door or your PO box. All of my orders, I make sure that are sent straight to the customer from the warehouse, because that's how you get them as quickly as possible. The only exception to that is my online classes, because that has to come back here and I need to cut everything up. But if you're just ordering from me, you will get it sent directly from the warehouse. Orders go in when payment's received or payment clears. So you're making sure that you're getting your orders as quickly as possible. And because I work from home all week, if something happens with an order, which in the rare instance that happens, you can just get hold of me and I'll be straight on to Stampin' Up to sort that out for you as well, so that you get great customer service, which is what we want. Okay, so that's card 1. What we might do now is we might go on and make card number 2. What do you think? Actually, before we move on to the next card, there was something that I meant to show you as an option on the last card. So I'm going to show that to you now. What we're going to do here is just stamp. I won't put the base on because really I just want to show you the cake layers, how that works. So once you do your cake layers, you'll notice in the stamp set there's a range of different other stamps that can be used to almost like overstamp the cake layers, and I want to show you how a couple of those ones work. So this one here, we're going to use, this is Bubble Bath, but I'm going to get Pretty in Pink and just show you. So take the top one. So we're using, for the bottom layer, we're using this stamp here, and for the top layer we're going to use that stamp there, so you can see that they're designed to fit that. So it's just overstamping it, so you just get a bit of a dimensional effect, like that. And here it is, the other one, pop it here. I like to have the rough bit at the top. This one, actually, it's a bit hard to tell which is the rough bit. I think we'll do it that way though. So we'll stamp it there, and then we will stamp that one. So that just gives you a bit more dimension if you wanted to add that to your stamping on the previous card. So you can see how I've done that. And if you've got a darker colour to start with, what you could perhaps do is stamp off for this first layer and then just stamp normally for that middle layer as well if you don't want to use a different colour. So there's another option for stamping it, and there are other ones here, but we're going to use those in the next card, so I can show those to you then, but I meant to show you that trick then. Okay, so I will clean these up and get ready for the next card again. Okay, let's get on to card number 2. So for this one, I've already done a couple of bits of the die cutting, so I don't have to keep running away to the machine and embossing. So I'm using a crumb cake base, and this time I have used the So Swirly embossing folder, and I have done this one just straight onto the card. So to do that, it's just a matter of popping it through like that, lining it up. You'll see there's a little line there where the pattern stops. So I popped it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now this isn't a 3D folder, so for this one I just needed to have the base plate, and then I popped this in between the two clear plates, and that's the effect that I got, which is just what I wanted. So what I want to do here is use some of the dies. So I'm going to eventually have a piece that comes down like this, which I'll have my cake on, and then I'll put the sentiments to the side. And my colours are going to be Early Espresso, Crumb Cake and Pretty in Pink. But I want to do a couple of things to show you different ways to use the products. So let's get started. We'll put the card aside until we get onto some of the other bits and pieces. Now, one of the ways that I I could have popped these through and used the adhesive sheets, and then I will just be able to stick them on that way. But I also have this Xyron Creator Sticker Maker, which I've had for years and years and years in my Stampin' Stash. So that's also a way that I can stick little things on as well. So I'll be using that. Now, before I put bits together though, what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of stamping on these ones. So remember how I told you that we had these little ones here which sort of look like layers in between the cake? Well, we're going to use those on this one. So I'm going to get them out. I've already got them out, they're sitting at the back here. Okay, so we've got here and here. So this one goes on that one and this one goes on that one. So I'm going to do that in crumb cake onto crumb cake because you get that tonal effect then. All I need to do is actually find my crumb cake because that is grey granite, which is not what we want. Here we go. So we are going to just overstamp these bits here. With the layers. Already that looks yummy, doesn't it? Actually, I should have perhaps done that a little bit closer to the bottom, and I'll show you why. Let's do it a bit closer to the bottom on this one. We'll see which one works best. I'll show you why in a tick. Okay, so we'll pop that back, and then we will need a slightly bigger one for this one. And I'm going to do that towards the bottom, as I mentioned. Okay. So they will go on top of each other like that. Now the reason I wanted them to do towards the bottom is I'm going to have the icing dripping over the edge, like so. But before we do that, what I want to do is I'm actually going to clear emboss the icing so it looks really shiny, because I think that will give a really good effect. So let's do that. We'll pop, where's my pink piece that I had there? Already lost that. So we're needing to work on those two. We're going to pop those at the back or at the side there so we don't lose them. And the same with this one here. And before we go any further, I'm just going to stop the video and find that extra pink piece. Who knows where it went? I ended up cutting another piece, but that's life. Okay, so I'm going to pop that up here so we don't lose it. What I might do actually is I might stick these two together first. With the dies for the base, you'll find there's this first bit cut here, but you also get this second bit which has got some ridges on it, which will give you a bit more dimension on that. So I'm just going to pop that through. Actually, I might pop these through at the same time. The sticker maker. So we don't waste it. Just pull that through. Just make sure you press. So I just got that from Amazon. Like I said, I've had it, well I think I did. Actually, probably didn't get it from Amazon, but they're available on Amazon. I have had this for like way before Stampin' Up, and I've been a demonstrator for 18 years, so I've had it a long time. Okay, so we're just going to pop that together to give that extra dimension on the base. There we go. Not sure if you can see that. Gives a bit of extra dimension. Okay, so next step is we're going to put some clear embossing powder on here. So I've got my embossing additions toolkit. I don't think we need to use the embossing buddy this time because we've just got so much it's going all over it. So anyway, so there's not going to be anywhere we don't want it. So I think probably the easiest way is just going to be popping these pieces onto the Versamark pad, and then make sure you got the right way up. Yep. Then we're using our clear wow embossing powder, clear wow embossing powder. So this is the clear gloss regular. So I'll pop that over the top there. Make sure it's covered. I'll put the embossing powder back later. And then we can use our tweezers and I've got my heat tool. Just knocked off the excess embossing powder there. So we just want to heat it till it melts. I'm using my heat gun with the left hand, which is a bit tricky. Because I'm right-handed. So what we're trying to do is get, whoops, that nice glossy effect. Whoops, 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 come back, come back, come back. So what I'm trying to do is just make sure that I just get the other end. There we go. So there's that one. Change those around so it's a bit easier this time. So you can see that changing to get the glossy effect. I'll just take that off for the last bit. Okay. So now before I go any further, I am going to pop this embossing powder back. So this is the Embossing Additions Toolkit. So you get the tweezers, the embossing buddy, you get a brush and this tray all together. So I'll link that down below as well because it's really great when you're embossing. And then we've got our heat tool. So let's pop that down there. Okay. So now we want to, when these are dry and cool, which is pretty much now, we are going to make sure that they are shiny side up. And we're going to pop that in there. Goodness me, it's a bit tricky to find out. There we go. Which side's the shiny side? Okay, so, and then I'm going to put these over come off. Ah, there we go. Put this over our cake. So they're designed so that it's a little bit wider than the cake. That's because you sort of want those outside bits going over the cake, like so. So that's that one. And then this one here goes over the smaller piece of cake. So you can see why I did them more towards the bottom. So I think this was probably going to be better. The one that I turned over is probably going to be the better. So we'll pop that on so that that one's just outside it. Like so. There we go. So that can go up the top like that. And then our tray is going to go down the bottom. So now I'm wondering whether I'll pop these up. I think I might. So I'm going to get some dimensionals. These ones will be easy to pop up, but I want some smaller bits of dimensionals for these ones. Just using the edging here. I also want to measure, just got a bit of embossing powder on here, so we'll brush that off. I also want to measure the width now so that I can cut that. So I think if we do it about 7 centimeters, it's going to be about right. So we want it 7 centimeters wide, 7 centimeters wide, and then the length is, well, the width of the card, which in my case is 10.2 centimeters, 10.5 centimeters. So like so. And I also want to use a bit of, just get a bit of pretty in pink. So we'll use a bit of pretty in pink cardstock, which we also want to have a piece 10.5. And if you follow me with my card making, you'll know that normally I add 3 millimeters on. So that one was 7. So this one I want to do 7.3, and that just gives enough of a mat for how I like it. But we didn't want any mat at the top and bottom. We just wanted it at the sides. So that's going to be perfect, like so. Okay, so I might pop these together now, so it's easier to do them when the cake's attached. But then we can probably actually, no, I think I might even attach it to the card now as well. Now I'm going to do it a little bit down this end. The reason is I want to do my embellishment, my sentiments on that sort of second half. So we'll do it more towards the end here. Make sure it's straight. Looking pretty good. Okay. Now I just need to make sure that I get it where I want it. So I'm just going to line up the heights of the cake, considering I also want to have that little bit on top, which is going to be there. So I'm pretty much going to need it right at the bottom. So I've still got to put a So we'll stick this one pretty close to the bottom and in the center. Pretty good. And the next one we're going to do is the big one. So we'll pop that up on some dimensionals. Just hope there's going to be enough room at the top. It looked like there was, only just, if not, I'll just cut down the legs of the banner. It's very cute, this bundle. I think there's lots of different ways you can use bits and pieces. Okay, so we're going to pop that one like so, and then we're going to make sure it's under there, because we don't want any levitating cake layers, do we? Whoops, it's a little bit off to the side. So we will just I think that's better. Oh, I love the shine on that icing. That looks really great. Really love how that turned out by embossing that. And then we are going to pop this at the top. Now this one, you definitely need to have this on something. It would be really difficult to. So either using the Stampin', the adhesive sheets, or if you've got one of the sticker makers, that's the other option as well. So there we go. There's our cake. I think that looks cute. So what we're going to do now is just off the side, we're going to do a happy birthday sentiment for this one. So we're going to use happy and birthday. So I think what I'm going to do is put them together. So happy birthday. Oh, look what I found over there. I found the other one of these. Oh, well, I've got one cut for another card now. I knew that would be the case. It was sitting on my embossing folder. So I get a bit of an idea how wide I want it. And then I'm going to cut the strip first. I find that works easier for me. So I think I'm going to do it about 1/2 inch or 1.2 centimeters. Actually, might do a 0.6 of an inch. See if that's big enough. Okay. I was going to do it in one long bit, but I might just do it. Let's see. I lined that up on my we need the happy first, don't we? I line that up like so. Let's just try that. On a piece of card here and see how that goes. On a scrap piece. Whoops, lucky I did that because the happy's upside down. The importance of testing. Let's try that again. do it up here so you can see. So it's a bit of a like, it's a bit of a, what's the word, whimsical sort of font anyway, so you can get away with it not being perfectly straight, but I think that's pretty good actually. So I'm going to, again, apologies for seeing the top of my head, which you probably are. Nope, not happy, need to do it higher up. Already stamped, let it touch. Okay, so that's good. I'm happy with that. Happy birthday. Now, what I think I might do is I might actually cut it into two. Got a bit more off the end there. Okay. So I think so I think I like it about half this long one, about in line with the middle of this. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to pop these ones up, I'm just going to put them directly onto the card. Because I want the cake to be the star of the show. Could even like do a little, you could even punch out a little flower and pop on the top. I might even do that. Yeah, we'll have a look in a moment. Birthday, and then we'll do the happy. A little bit offset and a little bit of the crumb cake showing through. Okay, there we go. Now, what I'm thinking, now for embellishments, I've got to have my 3 embellishments on there. There's a few different options here. So the first one we've got is the in colour dots, because Pretty in Pink being one of the in colours for this year. So we could use those, which are pretty cute. These ones are the in colour dots as well, but they are more of the shimmer. We could use those too, the pink ones. They're cute too. In fact, that would allow it to be a little bit more subtle if we put a flower in the centre. Or we've also got these ones which were part of the Like It a Latte suite with the adhesive back swirl dots. And they would actually go really good as well. And then I could, as I said, put that pink flower, which sort of, I think that might be nice because it's got that swirl on it, which sort of ties in there. Or the other one I thought might work, I'm leaning towards these dots at the moment, is the rose gold, but I don't think it's going to. I think it needs to be something matte. Yep, it does. So what I'm going to do is use 3 of those dots, but I'm also going to get a little flower. And what I might do for the top of that is our punches. So we have got the Petal Park Builder Punch. Now this is a downloadable index for the annual catalogue that Stampin' Up have released. So I can, I'll pop a link down below for you to be able to download this yourself if you want one of these. But you can see I think I'll be using this Petal Park Builder Punch and a piece of the Pretty in Pink. So just let me grab that punch. It's pretty big. I hope it doesn't swamp the flower. Let's just have a look. Swamp the cake, should I say. So if we sort of curl the edges up, and pop that up the top. No, I think that's going to be really good. So I'm going to pop all of those up. And what I might do is pop one of these in the center there as well. So pop that in there. And then the best thing to adhere these sorts of things with is a glue dot, a couple of glue dots probably. And you can just pop the shape against the glue dot and it takes it off the backing, and that way you get that's really strong, that's going to stay put. Now I'm going to attach it to the actual cake bit right in the center there. I think that looks very cute. So then what we might do is we'll put one of the sentiments maybe here and here, and then we'll see how it looks. So I think one about there. So these again are the adhesive back swirl dots, and these are also in the online exclusives, but I will link to those as well down the bottom, so you can find those in my online store. And you don't always have to buy stuff from the online store. You're welcome to email me or text me or send me a smoke signal. No, maybe not that one. Text me or call me and we can order over the phone, and you can pay by PayPal or direct deposit into my account if that's easier for you, so that you can get what you want. And so what I will do later is obviously put a center piece in here for each of these cards. So to summarize, let's have a look at the cards we've made. We've made this one here, which is just the plain stamping, and we've added some flowers, and we've got that on a background which we've embossed, and we used the brayer to get some extra dimension on that embossing, which is just such an easy trick, but it looks amazing. So the other one we made was with the dies, where we used the So Swirly embossing folder, and then we created the layers with the dies, and we created that shiny icing, and we used a little flower there, and then we talked about how to break down the larger sentiments. Now I want to show you some other cards that I've made using this bundle. So this one here, which is where I've used the piece that we stamped using when we did the overstamping with the extra layer to give the cake a bit of dimension. So just used the celebrate word there. And then this one here, this is going to be featuring on my blog very soon, and I've got a reel to show you how to do the kissing technique to get that patterned cake, which I think looks very cute. And then I've got this nice bright shiny one here where I've made that shiny icing, which just looks amazing. Used gold foil to cut out various bits, and then I've used some of the marbled paper that's one of the online exclusives this month as well, and just to actually cut out to use the cake layers. So I think that actually looks gorgeous as cake layers. So I really love how that turned out. Now the great news is, if you purchase this bundle from me in Australia, from anywhere in Australia during November 2024, so that's the stamp set and the dies together, so you're already getting 10% off. This bundle is $66.50, which is really reasonably priced bundle in comparison to some of the other bundles that Stampin' Up offer. So considering the versatility of it and the price, I think it's an absolutely amazing deal. But to make the deal sweeter, anyone that purchased from me in November, I will actually send you a make and take kit to make all of these cards. So you'll have all of the bits to make the cards. The things that I can't include the embossing folder, so you'll need to use an embossing folder you've got at home, or I'll offer some other suggestions to use to make the backgrounds. I can give you the die cut shapes, so that won't be a problem. I can't give you any stamped images, not allowed to do that, but I can tell you what inks that I'm using, and you can substitute, or there'll be plenty that that can work. And the other thing that I've got some of this designer series paper. This one is from Nature's Sweetness. Depending on how many I get, whether I run out of that, I should be okay. I can order some more. And the same with this one here. We'll have to see how we go with the DSP. So you might get a slightly different DSP, but it'll be very, very similar. So you'll get the actual physical kit in the mail, wherever you are in Australia. Oh, the other thing that I don't include in my kits is I don't include linen thread, because I consider that a basic that everyone has to have. But I'll pop in some of the embellishments, pop in all the cardstock bits for you to die cut and make up yourself. And you'll also get a PDF tutorial for each card with the instructions in metric and imperial, so you'll be able to pop your cards together. Now, if you're not in Australia and would like to make up these cards, I will have the PDF tutorial available to purchase in my PDF store. So I'm hoping to get that up in the next day or two. So I'll pop the link for the PDF store down below, and you can just keep an eye on that. And you'll be able to purchase that for immediate download anywhere in the world. But as I said, if you buy the bundle in Australia for $66.50, postage is $6.95. You can either buy online using the link below, or you can give me a call, send me an email, and we can pop the order through for you. And you can pay by either credit card over the phone, or you can pop your bank. You can pop the money into my bank through internet banking, or you can also pay by PayPal if you would prefer. So that PayPal offer, the PayPal option is if you are purchasing online, there is an option to check out with PayPal. If you're purchasing directly through me, the opportunities are to pay by credit card or to pay by internet banking. So there we have the details. I hope you've enjoyed those cards today. I loved making them, absolutely love this bundle, and I'm glad to be offering it as a make and take kit in November. This will be my last card kit for the year, because December will be a shorter month. Well, it won't be a shorter month, but it'll be a shorter working month for me, as I have some time off usually in the last couple of weeks of December. So yeah, thank you very much for watching today. All of the information that I promised to give you is underneath the video in all of the details. And please, if you've enjoyed today's, please subscribe, and please hit that bell so you'll be told when there's some more videos out from me, because I'd love to build up my community here on YouTube, and that's the best way for me to do it. So have an awesome day or night wherever you are around the world, and thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me today. I really appreciate that. Bye.